My sister used my egg donation to get pregnant. Now she won't let me see my biological daughter. I never thought I'd be posting this. I never thought something meant to be an act of love and generosity would turn into the biggest nightmare of my life. But here we are. 4 years ago, I donated my eggs to my sister so she could have a baby. We had clear agreements about boundaries and my role in the child's life. Now my sister has completely cut me off from my biological daughter and is threatening a restraining order if I don't stop trying to parent her child. I don't know if I'm in the wrong here. My entire family thinks I've crossed a line. But I can't shake the feeling that my sister has rewritten history and stolen my chance to know this little girl who is, biologically, my daughter. I need outside perspective because I'm going crazy. The beginning. My sister, Rachel, is 38. I'm 32. We were always close growing up. She was my protector, my role model, my best friend. When she married her husband, Mark, I was her maid of honor. When they struggled with infertility for years, I cried with her through every negative pregnancy test and failed IVF cycle. Rachel has endometriosis, severe enough that by age 34, her eggs were no longer viable for IVF. The doctors told her she could keep trying with her own eggs, but the chances of success were less than 5%. Her best option was donor eggs. She was devastated. Mark was supportive, but Rachel felt like a failure. I'm broken, she'd sob to me. I can't even do the one thing women's bodies are supposed to do. I hated seeing her in that much pain. And I started thinking I could help her. I was 28, healthy, fertile. I'd never had any desire to have biological children of my own. I'd actually been considering getting my tubes tied because I knew parenthood wasn't for me. But I had good eggs that were just going to waste. So I offered. What if I donated my eggs? Then the baby would still be genetically related to our family. Rachel's face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in years. You do that? Really? Of course. I love you. If I can help you become a mom, I want to do that. We started the process. But first, we had a lot of conversations about boundaries and expectations. The agreement. Rachel, Mark, and I sat down multiple times to discuss how this would work. We even went to a therapist who specialized in family egg donation to make sure we were all on the same page. The key points were, Rachel and Mark would be the parents. Legal parents, day-to-day parents, decision makers. I would be Aunt Lily, not a co-parent. The child would know the truth. We agreed that when she was old enough to understand, they'd tell her that Aunt Lily had helped them have her. Age-appropriate honesty. I would have an active aunt role. Not a mother, but involved. Regular visits, birthdays, holidays, normal aunt stuff. The child would know me and have a relationship with me. Boundaries would be respected. I wouldn't overstep into parenting decisions. Rachel and Mark wouldn't cut me out of the child's life. It seemed simple.
Clear.
We all agreed and even signed a document, not legally binding, but a symbolic gesture, outlining these terms. I went through the egg donation process. It was brutal. Hormone injections, mood swings, physical discomfort. But I did it willingly, happily, because I was helping my sister achieve her dream. They used my eggs with Mark's sperm. The first IVF transfer worked. Rachel got pregnant. I was thrilled for them. I felt proud that I'd been able to help. When she had the baby, a girl they named Mia, I was one of the first people to hold her. And that's when something complicated happened inside me. The complicated feelings. I want to be clear. I didn't suddenly want to be Mia's mother. I didn't regret the donation. But holding this baby who was made from my DNA, who had my genetic material, it awakened something I hadn't expected. She looked like me. Exactly like my baby photos. Same nose, same chin, same little expressions. When she grabbed my finger with her tiny hand, I felt this overwhelming surge of connection, protection, love. It scared me. This wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to be the cool aunt, nothing more. I talked to my therapist about it. She said it was normal. Biological connection can trigger unexpected feelings, even when you intellectually know you're not the parent. She advised me to acknowledge the feelings, but maintain the boundaries we'd established. So that's what I tried to do. I visited regularly. I brought gifts. I babysat when Rachel needed help. I was Aunt Lily, and I loved Mia fiercely in that role. But I couldn't stop noticing things. The way Mia smiled was my smile. Her laugh was my laugh. She had the same stubborn personality I had as a kid. When she started talking, she had the same speech patterns I'd had. Rachel noticed me noticing, and she started to pull back. The first conflicts. Mia was about 18 months old when the first real fight happened. We were at a family dinner, and Mia was being fussy. Rachel was trying to feed her peas, and Mia kept refusing. She doesn't like peas, I said. I never liked peas either as a kid. Maybe try green beans. Rachel's face went cold. I'm her mother. I know what she likes. I was just suggesting. You're not her mother, Lily. Stop acting like you are. It felt like a slap. Everyone at the table went quiet. I stammered an apology, but the damage was done. Later, Rachel texted me, I appreciate everything you did to help us have Mia, but you need to remember your role. You're the aunt. That's it. Stop trying to make it more than that. I was hurt and confused. I'd just made a suggestion about vegetables. How was that overstepping? But I apologized again and tried to be more careful. The incidents kept happening though. Small things that Rachel interpreted as me overstepping. I bought Mia a toy that Rachel thought was too advanced and got angry that I was trying to show her up as a parent. I mentioned that Mia seemed to have my allergy to strawberries and Rachel snapped that I was trying to claim her. I posted a photo of Mia and me on social media with a caption, my girl, and Rachel made me take it down because she's not your girl. Each time, I apologized. Each time, I tried to do better. But I felt like I was walking on eggshells, never quite sure where the boundaries were. The major breaking point came when Mia was 2.5. Rachel called me, frantic. Can you watch Mia? I have a work emergency, and Mark's out of town, and our regular sitter is sick. Of course, I said immediately. I picked Mia up and took her to my apartment. We had a great day, played at the park, made cookies, watched cartoons. She called me Lily, her version of Lily, and told me she loved me. When Rachel came to pick her up, Mia didn't want to leave. She threw a toddler tantrum, crying and clinging to me, saying no. Stay with Lily. Rachel's face went through several emotions, embarrassment, anger, hurt. She pried Mia off me and left without a word. The next day, I got a long, furious text. You need to back off. Mia is my daughter. You're confusing her with how much time you spend with her and how you act around her. She's starting to see you as another parent figure, and that's not okay. You were supposed to be the egg donor who becomes a normal aunt. Instead, you're trying to be her second mother. It needs to stop. I tried calling to talk it through, but Rachel wouldn't answer. So I texted back. I'm not trying to be her mother. I love her because she's my niece. Because she's your daughter. Because she's part of our family. I would never try to replace you. But I am biologically connected to her, and I can't just turn off my feelings completely. That was apparently the wrong thing to say. Rachel replied, that's exactly the problem. You think your biological connection gives you some claim to her. It doesn't. You were a donor. That's all. We need space. The cutoff. Space turned into complete cutoff. Rachel stopped inviting me to family events where Mia would be present. When I asked to visit, she always had an excuse. When I sent gifts for Mia's birthday, Rachel sent them back with a note. Please stop. You're making this harder. I tried talking to Mark. He was sympathetic but ultimately sided with Rachel. She's Mia's mom. She gets to make the rules. I think you need to respect her wishes and give her the space she's asking for. But we had an agreement. I was supposed to be part of Mia's life. Agreements change when the reality is different than expected. Rachel feels like you're not respecting her role as mother. I'm not trying to. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. It matters how Rachel feels. And right now, she feels threatened by you. I talked to my parents. They were torn. Mom thought Rachel was being unfair. Dad thought I was being too possessive. You knew going in that you were donating eggs, not having a baby, Dad said. Maybe you need to accept that your role is smaller than you thought it would be. But Rachel promised. Rachel is Mia's mother. She gets to decide who's in her daughter's life. That's how parenting works. I tried to reach out to Rachel again. Sent letters, emails, texts. All went unanswered. 6 months went by. Then a year. I didn't see Mia at all. My family would mention her. Oh, Mia said the funniest thing. Mia started preschool, but I wasn't there for any of it. It was like she'd been erased from my life. Or I'd been erased from hers. The grief was overwhelming. I knew intellectually that I wasn't Mia's mother. But I'd helped create her. I'd held her as a baby. I'd loved her. And now she was growing up without me, probably forgetting I even existed. The accidental meeting. Last month, after almost 2 years of no contact with Mia, I ran into them at the grocery store. Mia was 4 years old. She'd grown so much. She looked even more like me now, same curly hair, same green eyes. She was holding Rachel's hand, chattering away about something. She didn't recognize me. "Hi, Rachel," I said quietly. Rachel's face went pale. "Lily." "Hi." I looked down at Mia, my heart breaking. "Hi, Mia." Mia looked up at me, curious. "Who's that, Mommy?" This is Aunt Lily. You met her when you were little." "Oh." Mia seemed uninterested and went back to examining the cereal boxes. I couldn't help myself. "You've gotten so big. You're beautiful." "Thank you," Mia said politely, like she was talking to a stranger. I was a stranger to her. Rachel grabbed her cart. "We need to go." "Wait, Rachel, please.
Can we talk?"
I miss her. I miss you." "There's nothing to talk about.
You need to move on, Lily.
I caught myself. She's my niece. I should be part of her life. You gave up that right when you couldn't respect boundaries." I did respect boundaries. I was just trying to be involved. People were staring. Mia looked scared. Rachel picked her up, even though she was really too big for it. "Stay away from us, Lily. I mean it."
She left.
I stood there in the cereal aisle, crying. After the grocery store incident, I did something stupid. I sent Mia a birthday card. Just a simple card with a $20 gift card inside and a note. "Happy 4th birthday, Mia. Love, Aunt Lily." Rachel called me for the first time in 2 years. She was furious. "I told you to stay away. That means no contact. No gifts. Nothing." She's 4 years old, Rachel. I just wanted to acknowledge her birthday. You don't get to acknowledge her birthday. You're not part of her life. I helped create her life. You donated eggs. That's it. That doesn't make you her mother or give you any rights. I know I'm not her mother. I just want to be her aunt like we agreed. That agreement is void. You couldn't handle it. You got too attached. You made it weird. And now you're cut off. For how long? Forever, if necessary. Until you can accept that you're nothing to Mia. I'm not nothing. I'm her biological. You're a donor. That's all you are. That's all you'll ever be. She hung up. 2 days later, I received a letter from a lawyer. Rachel is demanding I cease all contact with Mia and threatening to file for a restraining order if I don't comply. The letter states that my continued harassment is causing emotional distress to their family. Harassment. For sending a birthday card. The family divide. My family is completely split on this. My mother thinks Rachel is being cruel and unreasonable. You had an agreement. You were supposed to be part of Mia's life. Rachel is rewriting history because she's insecure. My father thinks I'm being inappropriate. You need to let go. You're not Mia's parent. Rachel has every right to decide who's around her daughter. My brother stayed out of it initially but recently told me, "I think you got too attached. You need to accept that the donation was a one-time thing, not a lifetime connection." Rachel's friends and Mark's family all support Rachel, obviously. They think I'm a bunny boiler who's trying to steal their child. My friends are divided. Some think Rachel is being unfair after I did this huge thing for her. Others think I should have known better than to expect a relationship with a child who isn't mine. My therapist is carefully neutral, but has asked me hard questions. What were you hoping for when you donated your eggs? To help Rachel have a baby. Just that? Or did you hope to have a connection to that child? I both. I wanted to help her and be part of the child's life. That was the agreement. And now that Rachel has changed the terms, how do you feel? Like something was stolen from me. But was it yours to begin with? I don't know how to answer that. The legal reality. I've consulted with lawyers. The legal reality is brutal and clear. Rachel and Mark are Mia's legal parents. Full stop. I have 0 parental rights, 0 custody rights, 0 visitation rights. Even though Mia is biologically mine, the egg donation process I went through included legal documents that terminated any parental rights I might have had. I am legally nothing to Mia. Rachel can cut me off completely, and there's nothing I can do about it. But we had an agreement, I told the lawyer. An informal agreement. Not legally binding. And even if it were, family court judges prioritize the parents' rights to decide who's around their child. Unless you can prove Rachel is unfit, which you can't, you have no standing. So, I just have to accept never seeing her again? Unless Rachel changes her mind, yes. The injustice of it burns. I went through the physical and emotional ordeal of egg donation. I helped create Mia. And I have 0 rights. 0 say. 0 protection. The question I can't answer. Here's what keeps me up at night. Am I wrong? Did I overstep? Was I trying to be more than an aunt? Did I get too attached? Or is Rachel being unfair? Is she rewriting history and breaking her promises because she's insecure? When I look at my actions honestly, I did comment on Mia's preferences and personality. I did feel a strong biological connection. I did call her my girl that one time. I did buy gifts and want to be very involved. But is that overstepping? Or is that normal aunt behavior? I have other nieces and nephews, my brother's kids. I do all those things with them too. But it's different with Mia because of the biological connection and because Rachel is hypersensitive to any suggestion that I'm more than an aunt. Maybe I should have been more careful, more mindful of Rachel's insecurities, more willing to step back. But also, I donated my EGGS. I went through a medical procedure to help her. Doesn't that earn me anything? Or does the act of donation mean I give up all connection? I've stopped all contact. I haven't sent any more cards or messages. I'm complying with the lawyer's letter, even though it breaks my heart. Mia is growing up. She's 4 now. Soon she'll be 5, then 6, then starting school. I won't be there for any of it. Will Rachel ever tell her the truth? That Aunt Lily donated the eggs that made her? Or will she hide that forever? And if Mia does find out someday when she's 18 or 25 or 40, will she want to know me? Will she feel angry that I didn't fight harder to be in her life? Or will she think I was a creep who overstepped? I don't know. I'll probably never know. All I know is that I did what I thought was a beautiful, generous thing for my sister. And it turned into a nightmare that cost me both my sister and my biological daughter. My questions for Reddit. I'm posting this because I genuinely don't know who's right anymore. Everyone has such strong opinions, and I'm lost in the middle. Did I overstep? Was I trying to be more than an aunt? Should I have been more careful about boundaries? Or is Rachel being unfair? Is she breaking our agreement and cutting me off unjustly? Should I fight for visitation rights even though I legally have none? Should I wait until Mia is 18 and try to contact her then? Or should I let go completely and accept that my role in her life is over? How do you mourn a living child? How do you grieve a relationship that was never supposed to be yours in the first place? And most importantly, should I have ever donated my eggs to my sister? Was this doomed from the start? I need perspective. I need to know if I'm the villain in this story or the victim or just someone who made a complicated mistake. Please, Reddit. Help me understand what happened here. Edit. Reading through comments. A lot of you are saying I did overstep and that Rachel had every right to set boundaries. That's hard to hear, but maybe I needed to hear it. Others are saying Rachel is being cruel after I gave her such a gift. I appreciate both perspectives. Edit 2. Some are asking if I would have donated if I'd known this would happen. Honestly, I don't know. Probably not. But I can't regret helping Rachel have her dream child, even if the cost to me was higher than I expected. Edit 3. For those suggesting I wait until Mia is 18 to contact her, I've thought about it. But is that fair to her? Is it fair to drop your aunt is actually your biological mother on an 18-year-old? I don't know. Edit 4. Someone asked if I've considered having my own children. I have. But I don't want to be a parent. I wanted to be part of Mia's life because she was Rachel's daughter, raised by Rachel, but with me as an involved aunt. I didn't want the responsibility of parenthood. I just wanted connection. Maybe that was naive. Edit 5. A lot of comments are suggesting therapy.
I'm already in therapy.
Have been for 2 years. It helps, but it doesn't fix the grief of losing someone who's still alive and growing up without you. Thank you all for the responses. Even the harsh ones. I think I need to accept that this is done, that I have to let go, and that maybe the connection I felt was something I built up in my head. But it still hurts. God, it hurts so much. I donated my eggs out of love. And I lost everything. That's the reality I have to live with.